Hi, ladies. Can I be honest? A lot of women want expensive energy, which is what my channel is dedicated to. The women want confidence, standards, the soft life, the relationships, the self respect. But many women are trying to embody expensive energy while betraying themselves daily. And that is why it feels performative because expensive energy is not about aesthetics. It's not necessarily designer bags, which I absolutely love. It's not luxury skincare, which I absolutely love too. And it's not about speaking softly per se. Expensive energy is integrity. And if you keep abandoning yourself, your nervous system knows, your body knows, your confidence knows, your relationships know, your bank account, baby, knows. And today I'm going to talk about why self betrayal and the self betrayal habits that are quietly keeping you stuck in cheap energy. Because you cannot trust someone who repeatedly betrays you, can you? And neither can your brain. So if you apply that same energy with others, keep that same energy with yourself. Before we dive in, hello, my name is Ashanwa. Welcome to LAJA. I help women cultivate, sustain, and embody self trust so they attract better outcomes in their lives, ranging from relationships to finances and even their body and their health. If that sounds like something you are remotely interested in, I encourage you to subscribe, stick around, join my community, larger soft living society where the girls who get it are getting it. Today, we're going to talk about self betrayal and why it is the blessing blocker behind your expensive energy or your lack of expensive energy. Let's just put it that way. So, we're going to first define what self betrayal means because I think people actually use this term quite loosely. Self betrayal is acting against your own needs, values, standards, intuition, or well being repeatedly. Not occasionally, because again, I know we slip up and we make mistakes and life happens, but it's repeatedly when it happens repeatedly and it becomes a pattern. Some examples of self betrayal are saying yes when you mean no, ignoring red flags, breaking promises to yourself, overriding exhaustion, shrinking your needs to be more palatable, abandoning your standards for connection or vibes, people pleasing at your own expense. Self betrayal teaches your brain that your needs are optional and expensive energy cannot grow there. The relationship you have with yourself sets the ceiling for everything else. It starts with you, ladies. How you treat yourself is how the world will treat you because everything outside of you is a mirror of how you treat yourself. So if you are not happy with the treatment you're getting from life, from people, from men, from your bank accounts, from your body, you need to look at the woman in the mirror and make those changes starting with her. So, the first self betrayal habits, let's get into them. Number one is ignoring your own signals. Your body usually knows before your mind catches up because the body keeps score. Signals that women often ignore that come to bite them back later are resentment for overgiving, anxiety for feeling inferior or for comparing oneself to others or not living up to people's expectations or standards, exhaustion from constantly working yourself to the ground and to the bone, dread from setting boundaries or feeling fear that you've done too much or that your needs don't matter, discomfort, attention, and silence. Gut feelings, your intuition always tells you. And a lot of women often ignore these signals. So I want to ask you watching this video, how often do you explain away your own signals? Every signal ignored, ladies, creates evidence that I do not protect me. Your body whispers before it screams. Breakdown doesn't happen overnight, ladies. Burnout is not an overnight phenomenon. It's something that happens gradually and over time. And it's something that we as women are pros. A lot of women are pros at explaining away what they see, the evidence that they see. Sorry, someone had tried to call me. Anyways, but when you repeatedly ignore these signals, lady, you're teaching yourself that you cannot be trusted to protect yourself. So, self betrayal habit number two is breaking promises to yourself. This one is huge, and we're going to spend a bit of time on this one. When you quit your routines repeatedly, you don't honor your commitments to yourself. You set unrealistic goals and expectations for yourself. You say tomorrow constantly. Tomorrow is a new day. You always say. If your friend broke promises to you weekly, ladies, let's be honest, you will trust them less, right? Your brain actually works in a similar way. Surprise, surprise. Self trust is not a feeling, it's not a vibe, but it's accumulated evidence over time. An expensive energy requires internal reliability. Again, expensive energy requires internal reliability. You keeping promises to yourself and proving to yourself that you can be depended on first and foremost. And when you are able to understand and grasp this concept that it starts with you, your reality begins to reflect that, because again, everyone and everything in outside of us is a mirror of who and how we treat ourselves. So, self betrayal habit number three is choosing external approval over internal peace. Some examples include over explaining yourself, excessive reassurance seeking, shape shifting for my chameleons, and staying agreeable even at the expense of your own needs and desires. And I want you to understand, who are you performing for exactly, and what exactly is the reward behind this performance that you are putting on constantly? Is it approval? Is it acceptance? Is it love? Is it attention? Is it money? Once you answer that question, I want you to ask yourself, how sustainable is said reward? Because it requires you to keep up the hamster wheel performance that never ends. And guess what? Every performance must come to an end, because baby, we get tired. We get tired of performing. We get tired of running on said hamster wheel. At some points, we want to get off. So, you performing, over explaining, and shifting your stance to be more palatable, the results you're going to get are not sustainable, because the moment you get tired and you slip up, guess what? Everything is going to come to light and you're going to lose said rewards. And I always say this, ladies, we have nothing to prove but only one to please. And the one person we're here to please is God. I know it's easier said than done, but many women are deeply connected to other people and very disconnected from themselves. And in scripture it says, love your neighbor as you love themselves, as you love yourself. And I know a lot of the Bible thumpers and the church goers love to quote this scripture, but do you really understand what it means? What it really means is that you can only love others through the extent you love yourself. Meaning, if you maltreat yourself, meaning if you talk down on yourself, meaning if you break promises to yourself, then it means you adequately cannot extend said grace, said love, said acceptance, or said kindness to others, because you can't give what you don't have, ladies. You can't pour from an empty cup. Approval addiction creates very expensive consequences, and I need you to understand that. Self betrayal habit number four is avoid abandoning your standards to avoid loss. I kind of touched on this in point number three, and this section is where it hits your relationships, especially. You accept inconsistency, you move goalposts, you stay too long with people who are committed to misunderstanding and disrespecting you, and you tolerate disrespect. Many women fear abandonment because often the first abandonment happened internally. That man did not fumble you, you fumbled yourself first, and he just reflected that back to you. And every time you betray your standards, you teach yourself that you are negotiable, that you can be played with, that you are a toy that can be tossed around. And what happens to toys? Toys eventually get discarded once they're used up and done being played with. And I need you to understand that abandoning your standards to avoid loss is costing you your relationships, because guess what? You settled and he still left. You settled and she still disrespected you. Are you happy with the outcome that you settling brought? And if the answer is no, why do you keep repeating those same patterns and those same habits? People say that the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing and expecting different outcomes. Once bitten, twice shy. I'm not saying that if you've made a mistake in the past, that you should beat yourself up for it. But the point of making mistakes is to learn from them so we don't repeat them. But if you keep getting dogged out by the same man in different bodies, what does that tell about you? Why aren't you learning your lessons? And why do you keep repeating the same patterns that bring you the same outcome? That is a question that we'll address in another video. But for now, understanding and bringing awareness to that habit of abandoning your standards to avoid loss is obviously not the way to go, because you lose yourself. And when you lose yourself, you also lose others, and that's which you're trying to hold on to. So, the fifth self betrayal habit is treating your body like an inconvenience. There is, or there are habits like sleep deprivation, burnout, crash dieting, stress normalization, ignoring your health signals, treating your body like it is a dumping ground, even though scripture has told you that your body is a temple of God and God lives within. If you truly believe that your body was a temple, would you feed it trash? Wouldn't you regulate who came in, when, and what they brought in with them, because you recognize that they're stepping on holy ground? But no, you claim your body is a temple of God, but you still allow men dog you out, pump and dump you, and throw you in the trash. You still feed yourself trash. You still deprive yourself of sleep in the name of Netflix and chilling with trashy men or trashy friends. Can you see the disconnection between what you say and who God has created you to be, and what your actions are saying and what your actions are doing? That discrepancy is what breeds self distrust, broken self trust. Your body is not interrupting your life, ladies. Your body is communicating to you that it wants to cultivate a relationship with you and it needs to be listened to. Rest is stewardship, ladies. Rest is not for the weak. The belief that you sleep only when you're dead is outdated and doesn't work for women, because we're women, not men. Our bodies are not created to function in the same way men are created to function. I did a masterclass in my school, LAJA Stuff Living Society, that I encourage you to check out. You can trial it for 7 days before locking in. But I talked about rhythm and how we as women need to live in rhythm with our hormones and our cycles so we can get the most out of ourselves, our relationships, our jobs, and our businesses. You will not get anywhere betraying your body's signals, because guess what, ladies? Every ignored signal that you every ignored cry that your body sends is a signal to your brain that you are abandoning and practicing self erasure. And guess what? The body keeps score. For my people and my ladies who have womb problems, who have high cholesterol, who have diabetes, who have poor sleep, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder. There were signs and symbols that your body was sending you before it finally freaked and crashed the F out. So I want us to understand that treating your body like it's an inconvenience is going to cost you down the line. The bill always comes due. This is not to scare you, but this is just to bring to your attention the importance of fostering mind body connection and knowing that when you are in your body, you are in a place of power as a woman. The Bible talks a lot about body stewardship. Like I earlier mentioned, it said that your body is a temple and it should be treated as such. And I hope if you don't believe me, you believe God, what God has told you over what man has told you. And with that, I'll leave it at that and move on. So, how do we stop betraying ourselves? How do you stop betraying yourself? The first step I always like to This process I always bring people back to when it comes to cultivating self trust. And it is number one, bringing awareness and asking yourself, where am I abandoning myself? Because you have to understand the source, where the leakages are, so you can actually plug and look for ways to actually resolve and fix them. So that is the first step, awareness. Number two is ownership. Ladies, I need you to stop outsourcing and blaming people. Stop blaming that man. Stop blaming your mom. Stop blaming your dad that wasn't there for you. Stop blaming people and take ownership, because guess what? We're not responsible for what happens to us. But once we reach the big old age of 18, we are responsible for how we treat ourselves and the outcome, how we respond to the outcomes or the things that happen to us in life. That's our responsibility. Healing is our responsibility, not someone else's. And I want you to ask yourself, what role am I playing in all of this? What role am I playing in abandoning myself? Step number three is alignment. I want you to write down the woman, the outcome you're trying to get, the woman you are calling in instead, and write down as well what standards would she choose. And I want you to, because you are that woman. That woman isn't outside of you. That woman is in you. It's you. You just have to align yourself with what exactly she does. And that is understanding what standards she operates from and aligning yourself with that. And then once you recognize that and you gain the alignment, I want you to do step four, which is to follow through with aligned action. Not Don't take 10, take one or two maximum aligned actions towards moving forward towards that woman, excuse me. And that could be you setting one boundary and enforcing it. That could be you going to bed 1 hour earlier than you typically do. Start small and build from there. Step number five is to collect evidence, ladies, because evidence creates trust, and trust creates expensive energy that cannot be taken away from you. Ladies, when I'm talking of expensive energy, I'm talking of cultivating the energy, the aura that no one can take away from you. Your money can go, your man can leave you, your body can get some type of way, but baby, your inner essence, your expensive energy, that cannot be taken away from me. And that is what I'm trying to get women to cultivate things that cannot easily be taken away from them. Their minds, their being, their aura, their substance, their feminine energy, who they are and what makes them them. That cannot be taken away from you. So collect evidence over time so you can cultivate this self-trust, which will make your energy so expensive, so juicy, and so addictive. And tying it in with expensive energy, I already said that it's not about perfection, it's really congruence. It's becoming a woman whose actions matches her values, doing what you say you will do and doing it consistently and repeatedly. It's knowing that you listen to yourself, you protect yourself, you trust yourself, you honor yourself. And expensive energy is expensive because self-betrayal becomes too costly, baby. Betraying yourself is too costly. And if this video has made you realize that you've been abandoning yourself, no shame, no judgment. Again, awareness is the first step, and that's exactly what this video is bringing to you. Awareness that I've been playing these patterns, I've been doing these things that are not the best for me. And I want you to know something. I want you to know that awareness, while important, is not enough, because practice is what changes people. And that's exactly what we do in my community, LAJA Living Society. We practice self-trust on a daily basis, emotional discipline, standards, feminine rhythm, soft living systems, ending self-abandonment, because women do not need more information. If you're watching this, I know you're probably well versed on the YouTube space on leveling up and feminine energy and all of those things. And you don't necessarily need more information, but you need evidence that you can rely on yourself again. That's where I come in. That's why I'm here. And if you're ready for that, I really encourage you to join my community. It's linked in the comment section of this video. And you also get a 7-day trial where you can hop in, message me, we can talk for a bit, see how my community is fitted or suited to your needs, and we'll go from there. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Tell me how you, which patterns you've been playing in, which self-betrayal patterns you've been playing in, and how you're going to work towards ending them today. You can comment down below or message me in school, whichever you prefer. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.